Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today we are putting together a foundation page for my December daily album using the brand new Festive collection from Traci Designs. This is a little bit of a blog hop situation, a YouTube hop situation where I will have a list in the description box of everybody that will be participating that is on the creative team, and we are all creating a YouTube video using this new collection. So I've already got most of my stuff kind of pre-cut out here to make things a little bit easier when getting everything set up. So you saw at the beginning I kind of had everything laid out in a way that I wanted it to end up being for my final product. This piece of candy patterned paper I printed out for another project on some vellum, and I didn't end up needing to use it all. So I am just using the rest of that up. I have printed out the lightest solid color in the collection for solid colored textured papers, and then the mint Christmas tree paper in the back. I also printed out 6 of the currently tags and then the numbers that are available in the digital kit. So the alphas that would be available in that digital kit. And then I'm going to kind of lay everything out. I've got a couple of my sewing clips that I have used because I'm going to sew all of my pattern papers together. You saw me adhere the vellum onto my solid paper with just a little bit of tape runner, and I just stuck that tape runner behind the darker candies on this paper. That way you wouldn't be able to see the glue through the vellum paper. And I'm also going to sew over the vellum paper, so even though I just used very little glue, you won't be able to see it, but everything will still be adhered down nicely because I will be sewing along 3 of the edges of my little pockets so that they create a pocket shape. I did also pull out my ruler and just measure the same distance down from the top because I figured it would be easier to do it that way than try and measure while everything was being held down by my clips. And then I am just getting all of the edges trimmed off here. I went over to my sewing machine, which is off camera. It's actually in my dining room, so it's not really even that close to me. So I took that over to my dining room table and sewed these pockets down, and then I will start working on my next step, which is going to be just trimming off all of these spare threads, and then I will be placing my numbers down on those pockets. What I decided to do, because this doesn't actually have any type of title or like main title piece that I'll be placing on it, I just have these numbers. So I wanted this page to hold 6 of my December currentlies. And what I did was used my Cricut to cut out the numbers 1 through 6. And then I have a 1/2-inch hole punch or circle punch that I used on the spare leftover pieces of the paper that I used to cut out these numbers and currently tags. And I'm gluing 2 of those together and then placing those 2 1/2-inch circles behind my numbers. That way it will give it just enough dimension to add a little bit of shadow to the background behind the numbers. But it's not actually going to add so much dimension to my page that it will add a ton of bulk to my album. And I really like adding dimension this way because it, like I said, it gives it a nice little shadow, but it's not so bulky that I will be kind of overloading my album from the get-go. So I did the number 1 here on camera, gluing all of those pieces together, and now I'm just going to use my T-square ruler from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just going to kind of lay these out here. I'm gonna lay my 2 and my 5 right in the center of my page. I believe I did this at whatever 1/2 of 7 was. I put it right in the center of the page and used my T-square ruler to kind of measure that out. And then I'm placing 1 and 4. I believe I did that at the 2-inch marker, and then the 3 and the 6, I placed that right at the 6-inch marker, or the 5-inch marker. Now, it's probably not straight perfectly all the way across, but I just wanted them to be kind of equidistant apart. So I wanted it to visually look as straight as possible without having to stress too much about it being perfectly straight. This collection is so fun. I super love it, and it's definitely a lot more colorful than I'm used to actually doing, which I'm actually pretty excited about because I feel like it's getting me a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I love the way that this paper turned out. So the last thing that I'm going to do is pull out some embroidery floss, which I felt matched the Christmas tree paper really well. And then I have a piece of kind of just white yarn that I had left over in my little like yarn bag. I'm going to cut that into 6 strips, all roughly the same size, and then I will do the same thing with my embroidery floss. I'll just cut that into 6 strips as well. And then I'm going to take 1 piece of embroidery floss and 1 piece of the yarn, loop them together, and then use those to create like little loop tassels in my actual tags. This first one that I did, I actually use 2 pieces of the embroidery floss, but that ends up being really thick and quite difficult to actually get pulled through the hole the way that I want it. I didn't feel like, removing everything for that one, so I just left it as is. But for all of the rest of these tags, I'm only going to use 1 piece of that embroidery floss, and it works out significantly easier and better to get them through the holes and everything going the way that I want it to go. So this collection released Thursday. It is on sale right now, and I'll have everything linked below. The only thing that I didn't use that was from this collection is the yarn and embroidery thread and the yarn for my sewing machine, or the thread for my sewing machine. So I am going to give myself the opportunity to punch my holes on either side, and then I'm done. Like I said, everybody will be linked down in the description box below. If you're interested in checking them out, let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.